Corey, this one's hard. This is no powwow. This is Pawarumi. All right, Corey, so we're a little out of my element here. This is a top-down space shooter, Pawarumi. It's got some weird mechanics to it, though, that kind of drew me in. This is all new to me.
It's like, yeah, we're playing this top-down arcade-style space shooter on the Switch, which I think actually lends it a bit of a favor, because I think this is a good platform to play a game like this.
Definitely,
because
yeah.
the Switch is a very, you know, grab-and-go kind of thing, and this is a very quick game. And when I say it's a quick game, I don't necessarily mean it's, you know, you blast through the levels real fast, because this one is difficult.
They blast through you
even
real fast.
on easy. This one I found so challenging because it has a bit of a different play, and you touched on it there for a second, is we're actually working with a trifecta of colors, red, green, and blue. And all these colors actually, what they mean is you have 3 different ships that you can switch through simultaneously throughout the level, and you've got 3 different colors of enemies coming through. Funny enough, red, green, blue, but it's not as easy as just matching the colors to the enemies that you're fighting.
Depends on what you want to do. So
Yes.
this is where the strategy of this game comes in, because if you're having a hard time and you're taking a lot of damage, you want to hit the enemies with the same color they are. That charges your shields up. Now, if you hit them with the opposite color, that gives you a super attack.
Yeah, so it's like a rock, paper, scissors style. Like, green's gonna always beat blue, but blue's gonna beat red, but red's gonna beat green. So you're always switching between the ships depending on.
Just right on the fly. There's just
Which is
3
nice
attack
because
buttons.
it's Y, B, and A, and that switches between the 3 colors of ships you have. So the controls themselves are actually really simple to learn, but learning when to use which ship I found to be very difficult. And while you're trying to sort that out, you also have to dodge the bullets from the people you're attacking.
A lot of bullets. It's so hard and foreign for me to dodge these things and try and keep track of what's going on at the top of the screen.
Very tough.
It gets dizzying. But this difficulty in matching the attacks with the things coming at you and the superpower, it kind of has some shortcuts to get you through it.
Yeah.
So if you realize that you don't really need shield, you just turn on the right color and you just start melting the guys.
Yeah.
And if you're in a real bad pickle like I was a lot of the time, you just hit the top button and it
does like a
kind
big
of a screen wave.
Screen wave kind of attack, which looked really good. This game, for a $15 game on the Nintendo eShop, it actually looks really good. The audio is fantastic. You get all your space sounds, blaster sounds, everything you can think of in a game like this. But for the price, actually, the package that you get, I think, is actually pretty good value overall.
Yeah.
There isn't much to this game. There's 5 levels, and you can play all 5 levels on easy, normal, or hard, and they do get increasingly more difficult because, like we said, learning this game on easy even is difficult. That game over, splash screen came up way too many times for my liking to start this one, and it is kind of tough to jump into when it's that difficult, but once you master the colors,
your reflexes get fast enough.
Exactly.
You kind of get some progress through it. But if you get progress through the first 2 levels and then you die, you start right at the start. So they introduced a training mode so you can kind of just replay that one segment over and over again. I needed that to get through to some of these other ones because even on easy, this game just destroys you quick.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's the kind of thing, like we said, it's a $15 game, so we've got your basic campaign, which, I don't really even want to call it a campaign. There is a loose story to follow with some cutscenes and dialogue. But let me tell you, I tried my best to follow what was going on. I had no clue.
It was very, science.
Yeah, you didn't really understand what the whole premise of the actual campaign story was. All I knew is that I needed to learn what colors to use to blast the colored enemies.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's as far as I'm going to take this
My
one.
character was wronged somehow, and now they're going to get wronged in return. And that's kind of just the gist of it.
Just kind of a quick basal story. There wasn't a whole lot outside of the campaign. Like you said, there's a training mode, and there's also a tutorial. but that's it. And again, you can't expect too much for a $15 game, but at the same time, it'd be nice to see maybe like a co-op element, because we're playing on the Switch, where, you know, the level's already hard enough, so let me join in with a friend who maybe controls a ship that just does one color or something like that.
That would be interesting.
Like, that would be kind of a cool take on a game like this, right? Well, we're gonna wrap this one up. I think we had a fun time playing this, Scott. If you gotta give it a score, what are you gonna give it?
Well, for the value that what you're getting and the drop-in playability of it, it's really good on Switch, and I did have a good time.
Yeah.
The game itself looks pretty nice. It's very visually distracting when you're actually really getting shot at, and the way the cameras kind of pan around your ship gives you a nice 3D feel. It's a cool experience. The sounds are there too, but the sounds of me dying are far too frequent.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag for me, but I'm gonna have to give this one a 7. It's a solid game.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I can agree with the fact that this game's easy to pick up. It's cheap. Anybody can really grab this one. It kind of makes you, feel like you're playing an old school arcade game from way back where, you get a few chances and that game over screen pops up a lot. But once you kind of master this one, I think that's where you get the rewarding aspect out of this game. So there's a bit of a grind to get to that point. But again, there's a lot of elements in this one that are good. The graphics are fantastic. The audio was great, and just the difficulty level is actually what makes you want to kind of keep playing. So I think fans of this genre are really going to love it, so I'm going to give it a 7 as well. Pawarumi is a fun game to play on the Switch. Its arcade-style gameplay really makes you feel like you're playing an old classic, but this version is not so easy to get into. The controls are simple to learn, but not easy to master, which means you'll find yourself starting levels over on a regular basis. But that's what makes Pawarumi so much fun. Its addictive nature will keep you hooked. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.